If you're selling a product and you don't have budget to like hire for professional photos, there is very cheap routes. We should pick the service that takes less of our time but has the equal return on our investment, time investment. And we are back at it. I swear this is going to be the last time I talk about portfolios. I genuinely do believe that it is one of the most important steps of starting anything. So yeah, if you have thought about starting a portfolio and you see subscription costs being like $20 a month, even at that, it's worth the investment. There's routes apparently now, I just learned this, that you can pay as little as $1 per year to build a portfolio. Let's talk about variety of services or products. When we started Venture It, in 2017 we had like 10 different images, right? They didn't really specify on what type of photography we took. It was just the best 10 images that we felt we had taken and thrown on a page. Quickly kind of started organizing types of shoots, and by 2020 we had a service page that had weddings, real estate, grads, events, cars, the list goes on. We basically quickly realized what services offered the best ROI, which is return on investment. And what I mean by that is if one of our services costs the same as another one of our services, but takes 1 hour of our time versus 3 hours of our time, including actually shooting and editing, then we should pick the service that takes less of our time but has the equal return on our investment, time investment. The reason it's good to have options on a beginning portfolio is that you're learning what you're good at, you're learning what clients actually want, and it allows you to start figuring out what works best for what's going on. In 2022, we launched our commercial site, which focused more on website materials, assets, and larger brand jobs. The reason we split these was we wanted to focus more energy towards developing brands, and that was the best way to kind of niche it out. That being said, that portfolio is only a year old, and we have to work on specifications within it and really niching it down as well. Since I bring up niching down, a lot of the time when we hear about niching down, it's like emphasized to do this as soon as you can or out the gate. Although this is true, like I just said, it's also important that you don't niche yourself so much that you're missing opportunities you don't even know about. What I mean by that is, let's say a plant shop. You specialize and sell only desert plants. That's great, and you will become known as the best desert plant shop. But you may actually find that in your location or area, more people are looking for rainforest plants, and therefore you'd be missing out on money. And then you might also find that you enjoy providing this type of plant and information surrounding this type of plant over those desert plants. This probably sounds stupid as hell, but hopefully you get the gist. My point is that if you niche down too much in the beginning, you limit yourself to what you could possibly be bringing in, and also limit yourself on what you could want to be doing. Instead of going super specific out the jump, find an interest. Ours was photography, and build that portfolio surrounding photography in general. That portfolio will gain you more experiences and opportunities surrounding photography, and you'll start to figure out what you actually really enjoy doing within photography and what is demanded in your location. Next, we're going to talk about quality over quantity. I've probably heard this before, but when we started Venture It, I think we had at one point probably 100 images within 2 or 3 pages. I didn't know at the time, but that was losing us opportunity in that we're overwhelming our viewers, and we're also not leaving any to the imagination. If you stack your portfolio or website with too much content, then your user will probably get bored and also get lost in what they're actually looking at. Instead, you should pick your 5 best images and hold on to those and try and push those. It allows your potential clients to have a little bit of imagination with what they can receive through using your service or product. So let's talk about creating a professional site at the lowest budget possible. I just learned this, but there's a platform called Ionos, I-O-N-O-S. It says that for a 1-year subscription, at least your first year, it's $1 to get started. I pay $20 a month right now for just the Squarespace. If you're not willing to spend $1, well, good luck to you, because this probably isn't your bag. Start with minimal photos on that site. If you have a 3-page site, maybe you even only have 1 photo per page. The idea isn't that you have a stacked portfolio or website out the jump. It's just that you have your best work or most professional looking work on that site. Make sure the photos you use look as professional as possible. That means avoid stock if you can. For me, it might just be me, but I assume most people can tell as well when a site is using completely stock images. It just rubs me the wrong way, and it screams like a lack of authenticity in my mind. Avoid that if you can. Secondly, if a website in general doesn't have quality photos, it typically decreases my likelihood of purchase and interaction with the site. People want to buy a quality service or product, and when the first engagement you have is not portraying the utmost professionalism or quality, then it makes it very hard to actually sell what you're trying to sell. If you're selling a product and you don't have budget to like hire for professional photos or anything like that, there is very cheap routes. You can buy a light box off Amazon for I think $30, and this will allow you to take like at least those white crisp photos. Our iPhones now take incredible pictures, so I know that's just gonna be a plain image, but you can take that, throw that in Midjourney or one of the new AI photo platforms, and give it a prompt with your image, and you'll be able to create some really cool product images for, what is that, $30, That's just kind of one route that you can explore. I want to talk about responsiveness within websites. Very important. If your website takes more than 3 seconds to load, the likelihood anybody actually will wait around for that web page to load is, I think it increases by like 80% that they just piece. To make sure your website is responsive not only on desktop but also on mobile, and make sure that when you're scrolling through your website it looks good on mobile and on desktop. For Venture It, I think we're 60% mobile and 40% desktop, somewhere around there. So it's just very important that we are able to showcase our work as best as possible on mobile and on desktop. Analytics, we have always tracked some level of analytics. It's increased a bunch over the past years, but for the first 2 years, I believe we just used what was built into Squarespace, and it doesn't track much, but it tracked general traffic and page views and whatnot. For us, that served as a major motivating factor for me, at least being able to see that our traffic was increasing month to month, and then being able to compare, this year versus last year motivated me to continuously update and evolutionize our site as much as possible. I would recommend just trying to track anything throughout your site so that, one, you start understanding how that data can build, and also so you can make your site as best as possible. Automate and integrate. For Venture It, we started out with basic forms, which was anybody possibly interested in a service of ours would fill out a form and kick an email to us, and then we'd have to spend a ton of time emailing responses, and then they'd email us back, and then we'd email them back, and then half the time they wouldn't even want to go through with service. And so that is just a massive amount of time that you want to save yourself of that. Automating stuff to save you time is crucial with any website. For us, it looked like going to booking page for our services where people could see exactly what we offered and then coordinate that into their own schedules without having to constantly ask us questions or ask when we're available. And then that evolved to having multiple services with multiple options, with multiple add-ons that again help our potential customers even select more options and figure out exactly what they were looking for without even having to talk to us. And it's not that I have a problem with talking to clients. I love talking to people, but if I can save myself from having to answer the same questions every week, then that is perfect. Now on the Venture site, if you were to go, or Venture Pictures, if you were to go to booking, then you'll see like 3 different types of headshots. And then when you click on that, you'll see 3 different types of packages within each service. And then if you were to click on that, then you will see like a plethora of different kind of add-ons that you can add on to your session. And then it will allow you to book a time and day that works best with your schedule. And when it comes to integrations, what I mean by that is it will auto-populate in our calendar and their calendar. We'll get notified of exactly what requirements they want, exactly what looks they want. So by the time they show up on our door, we know exactly what we're shooting, and they also have no questions beforehand. So our site sends follow-ups immediately when they book, a confirmation plus all the information to get to our location, what to expect, what to bring, and then email the day before to make sure that they're prepared and ready. I know that sometimes stuff slips my mind, so to be notified a day before is really, really good. After the session, we have follow-ups that just make sure that our clients are happy, don't have any last kind of requests or anything like that. But in general, all of that saves us a ton of time.